Huxley's concerns regarding man's disconnection from the natural world comes from the movement of people from small villages to big cities and their fear of becoming one of the crowd, losing their individuality. These fears are represented through the use of hypnopedia and conditioning. The repetition of the hypnopedic phrase, "everyone belongs to everyone else," is cited by Lenina continuously throughout the novel, emphasizing her lack of original thought and distorted view of human relationships, forced onto her by the world state. Lenina's character connects with Huxley's contextual concerns because she personifies the conflicts between the body and spirit. She is the perfect product of the system, and through no fault of her own, prioritizes her own need for sex, comfort, and stability over normal human connection, perfectly representing Huxley's fears for the future. Scott examines man's disconnection from their own kind by bringing into question the very nature of humanity. The replicants in the film are demonstrative of Scott's concerns for the future after a rise in research surrounding cloning and robotics. He explores the detrimental effects of robotics on human condition and forces the audience to reevaluate what makes us human, particularly in the scene when Deckard kills Zora. In this scene, Zora is costumed in see-through raincoat, accentuating her lifeless form, invoking a sense of pathos for the replicants. The non-diegetic sounds of the heartbeat continue to emphasize her humanity, as the heart is a symbol of empathy and love, essentially what makes us human. This is then juxtaposed to Deckard's inhumane reaction to Zora's death, perfectly demonstrating Scott's fears for a future where people no longer grieve over death. Through the characterization of Deckard, Scott is able to emphasize this disconnection from society, as he is often cruel and heartless. Deckard's inhumane character is particularly portrayed when he harshly reveals to Rachel that she is a replicant, causing her to cry. Her exhibition of more human than human emotion is extremely effective in representing Scott's concerns about man's disconnection from their own kind. As populations and the urbanization of the environment increased, Huxley became fearful of the possibility that mankind may reject the beauty of the natural world in favor of industrial cities and a reliance on technology. His fears are demonstrated in the opening scenes of the novel, when Huxley describes a 30-story building as squat in grey. By using negative connotation, Huxley is able to effectively illustrate a landscape that has been destroyed by urbanization, and emphasize the bleak, dull, and desolate setting of this modern world. This is then juxtaposed by the contrasting description of the reservation. The use of sensory imagery in the channel wound between precipitous banks and slanting from one wall to the other across the valley run a streak of green accentuates Huxley's concerns about a society that values the harsh city landscape over the beauty of the natural world. Huxley utilizes this juxtaposition to demonstrate to the audience the detrimental effects of globalization on the environment and our deleterious attitude toward the natural world. Whilst Huxley's dystopia displays man's disconnection from the natural world, Scott speculates about the complete disregard and destruction of the natural world. After the nuclear disaster of Chernobyl in 1986 and the Exxon Valdez oil spill in 1989, Scott's fears about the decimation of the natural world became a reality. The opening scenes perfectly depict Scott's fears of pollution and destruction of the environment, as a low-angle shot captures the powerful Tyrell Corporation building surrounded by clouds of smoke and fire. These dark and dirty images are a prediction of what Scott believes is in the future for mankind, and sparks fears in the audience as this is not idealistic. The patterns of strong vertical and horizontal lines on this building emphasize this fear as they accentuate the prominent pyramid structure of the building, creating a surreal effect as it flattens the city below into insignificance. This ties directly into Scott's concerns about corporal domination and the devastating effect corporatism has on the environment. His concerns are then reinforced by the non-diegetic synthesized evangelist music, emphasizing the artificiality of Scott's dystopia and creating a tone of unease and tension.